Shalom, all praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect, B'Shem Rachach. My name is Jacobo from Plaintables Camp. Now, elder brother, Texas brother, Remnant Save 144, is reviewing a video that he previously did, revisiting the affliction rising up a second time, which in Nahum 1:9 says that that won't happen. Once Esau, Edom is put down, no matter where he dwells on earth, that's where he's going to stay. He's going to stay underneath the feet of the Israelites until they're burnt up completely. He mentions Nahum 1:9 when you read, go back before a minute and 20 seconds. We're going to start here.
But they shall be priests of God. Those of us that take part in the first resurrection shall be priests of God and of Christ. And shall reign with him 1,000 years. How long are we going to reign with him? 1,000 years. Mm-hmm. Come on. And when the...
So this is the, I believe, Revelation 20. Well, I'll get it. He believes that, IUIC believes that the Esau going to rise up again after 1,000 years. That's the doctrine that the IUIC teaches, which is not biblical. Once Esau's put down, like the elder brother mentioned, he's going to stay down. It says in the heading, God is awesome. The burden of Nineveh is referring to the Babylonians, the new Babylonians, all right, the so-called white man, mainly in Babylon, America. All right, America is spiritually Babylon. All right, so Nineveh represents America. What do ye imagine against Yahweh? He will make an utter end. Affliction shall not rise up the second time. That's why it was written as assurance and confirmation that there wasn't going to be another conquering of the nation of Israel. The biblical Israelites, the real ones. Us, so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and our people scattered throughout the world. Right, or so-called blacks and so-called Indians in the New World, all right, that went into slavery. All right, it's not. We're not going to go into. We're not going to suffer again. Once we make it to the kingdom, we're not going to lose the kingdom. So let's continue to. And I originally got the video from this brother here. He was reviewing the other elder brother's video. All right. So let's continue.
1,000 years are expired. Now this goes back to what we read in Isaiah 24. And when 1,000 years are expired, go ahead, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. Oh, wait a minute. Go back to Isaiah 24. I just want you to see it. Isaiah 24, the second to last verse. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit. And shall be shut up in the prison. And after many days is how long, brothers? 1,000 years?
Oh my goodness, man. One day to the Lord is as 1,000 years. Okay. When you read Isaiah, the 24th chapter.
Number of whom is as the sand of the sea. Now let me tell you something about verse 8. In verse 8, there's time in there. In order for Gog and Magog to gather together the nations against God's people, that takes time. It does not take a day. It does not take a year. Because not only do you got to gather nations, you also need what to come up against us? Weapons. Because remember, when we rule, if y'all remember, in Isaiah 2, what did we do? Nation learned what? War no more. We made them beat their swords into plowshares.
Exactly. So how the hell is this going to happen? That's exactly right. So how the hell is Gog and Magog going to rise after 1,000 years if they have no weapons? If they're in complete subjection to the nation of Israel, it's not possible. They're not going to have any power whatsoever. They're going to be weak.
So for 1,000 years, there's no war on the earth. Now we loose this white man. Gog and Magog go out to gather together the nations. Time is in there. And it does not say how long it...
This brother is gone. He's gone. There I ain't just saying that out of spite. He's out of there.
Now, I'm on this Jehovah's Witness website, and I don't have a bunch of time, but when you go to their breakdown and interpretation of that 1,000-year period, okay, let's start here. Let's see here. At the very bottom. By the end of Judgment Day, surviving humans will come to life fully as perfect humans. Judgment Day will thus see the restoration of mankind to its original perfect state. All right, bringing out 1 Corinthians, bringing out precepts all completely wrong because Jehovah's Witnesses are off in doctrine. Then a final test will take place. Satan will be released from his imprisonment.
And that's where he goes off. All right. Because it says by the end of Judgment Day, that's it. There's no more judgments after that. Well, you got one more where Esau, Edom's going to be completely incinerated. All right, you can say that. All right. And the nations are going to be servants for, in hardcore bondage for a certain time, at least 1,000 years. Surviving humans will come to life fully as perfect humans, which is the elect of Israel. All right. So if the surviving humans are perfect, it's impossible for anything to come against them. All right. So they're really not perfect if they're able to be taken down, if they're able to someone to fight them and not have them in total subjection. So they're not. So this isn't the kingdom of heaven they're describing. The kingdom of heaven is absolute perfection. No one will be able to take or damage or hurt any perfect humans, so to speak, which these are the Israelites. Judgment Day will thus see the restoration of the Israelites, not mankind, to its original perfect state. Then the final test will take place. So this is why the brothers are saying that's a Jehovah Witness doctrine. All right, so he got it from Jehovah Witness. Hey, it's plausible. All right, he could have just made it up. He could have came to the same twisted breakdown that they came up with, but it's likely that he got it from Jehovah Witness. All right, because it's almost the same exact thing. Satan will be released from his prison because they're reading it probably in like chronological order as this is written in the text. That's not how you read the scriptures. You don't read the scriptures in exact chronological order as is written in the text. All right? It can jump around like a dream or a vision. It can say the end first, and then it can go to the second part of the beginning. All right. Once their plowshares, their weapons are beaten into farming utensils, there's going to be no more war.
And allowed to try to mislead mankind one last time. Those who resist him will enjoy the complete fulfillment of the Bible promises. All right, the righteous will possess the earth and they will live in it forever. And when you read pretty much how they break down that 1,000-year period in Revelation, the 20th chapter, all right, they're saying after the 1,000-year period, all right, a war will break out. All right, and when you break this down, I mean, it's completely all over the place. The book of Revelation shows that Judgment Day begins after the war of Armageddon, when Satan's system on earth will be destroyed. After Armageddon, Satan and his demons will be imprisoned in the abyss for 1,000 years. During that time, the 144,000 heavenly joint heirs will be judges as they rule as kings with Yahushua 1,000 years.
The 1,000 years where the Satan is in prison, that's referring to the Edomites during the so-called Dark Ages. That's when Satan is in prison. So about the let's say 100 something AD to about the mid 1300s. So from about 100 AD, around that time period, you had Israelites that that took over the empire of the Romans. All right, to about the 1300s. That's Satan in chains in prison. Now him being loose is after the mid 1300s. That's when Esau Edom took over. They had different. I believe the Black Death was one of the plagues that destroyed a lot of Israelites in Europe that were ruling different countries in Europe and in populations. And Esau took over. So that's Satan being loose from his prison. All right.
Judgment Day is not some hurried, lasting, or mere 24 hours. It lasts 1,000 years. So again, this doctrine that IUIC is teaching, all right, lines up with what the Jehovah's Witness is teaching. And we want to know, where did it come from and why did he start teaching this? Okay. During that 1,000-year period, Yahweh Shai, we call him Yahweh Shai, they're saying Jesus Christ, will judge the living and the dead. The living will be a great crowd that survives Armageddon. The Apostle John saw the dead standing before the throne of judgment as Jesus promised. Those in the memorial tombs will hear Christ's voice and come out by means of resurrection. What the hell is that? What are they talking about? But ultimately, this is the madness that IUIC is all of a sudden teaching. Okay? They're teaching this madness.
All right, so the proper breakdown would be in Revelation 20. Satan bound and Satan freed. All right, so Satan bound, that's the Edomites, so-called white man. All right, he calls himself white. He made up a race called white. Satan bound, and I saw the angel come down from heaven having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. All right, so the people of Esau Edom did not have supremacy over the region anymore. All right, over the old world, over there in the east, over in Europe and the Levant and the so-called Middle East, was it called West, was probably West Asia. All right, that area, Esau Edom didn't have power over the area anymore and over different parts of Europe. So Satan being bound, that's just the Edomites not being in power. It's as simple as that. And the bottomless pit is referring to Europe. All right. Now when you go down to freed and doomed, and when the 1,000 years were expired, so they were. So I gave you the dates about 100 AD. All right. Not 300 AD. There were already Israelites ruling before Constantine the Great. All right. And Constantine the Great was a so-called black man. I've done videos on there. Just put in icons or put icons in there or Constantine's name, and videos will come up on this YouTube page. You'll see that Constantine and St. Nicholas were so-called black people. All right. And when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed from his prison. So around the mid 1300s, that's when Esau Edom comes back into power. All right. And they shall go out to deceive the nations. All right. Which meaning the whitewashed images. I mean, they changed the images of how they looked. They lied about who the people were, of the scriptures, the Israelites, the biblical Israelites, who the nations were. They changed in different names. All right. That's the breakdown, not this, the order that they're referring to. All right. Because it's clearly evident that when the Israelites are released, when the judgment day comes, all right, there will be no more war. All right. There will be no more war. And look, you're only going to know this by the Holy Spirit, because the Bible is a very big book, and you're going to choose to believe who you want to believe. All right. How we teach it is the right way. All right. It's not going to be the saints shall take the kingdom and possess it forever and ever but then after 1,000 years, they're not going to possess it anymore. No, he's breaking down Revelation 20 the wrong way. Revelation 20 is referring to one event that happened, Satan bound. All right. The second event here, Satan freed. Satan in the scriptures, so he doesn't understand who Satan is. The border of wickedness. All right. And they shall call them the border of wickedness, whom the Lord have indignation forever. Those are the Edomites. All right. The Edomites are going to go into slavery, and then they're going to be put out of existence as Edomites. Obadiah, the first chapter. So Satan bound again. This already happened already. Satan was already bound. The Edomites were already bound. They already went into subjection under the Israelites. So this happened already. So the 1,000 years says, so this is where the confusion comes in at, because it says 1,000 years, 1,000 years, 1,000 years, and then it says 1,000 years down here. All right. So this is jumping to the end. All right. So this is the beginning, about 100 AD to 1300s. And then when you get down to the fourth verse, this jumps to the end. Then when you go into the seventh verse, just goes back to the 1300s. All right. That's the truth. All right. It's not in chronological order. All right. Because it's not going to be, he's implying that you reign with the Lord for 1,000 years. Oh, and then the beast is going to be, Satan going to be let out. No, that's not it. That's not. Once the reigning starts, REIGN, it's going to be forever. It's not going to be any interruption. All right. He's just reading it, or the Jehovah's Witness, they're reading it in chronological order in Revelation, the 20th chapter. That's not how you read the scriptures. All right. There's not going to be any interruption in the kingdom once the saints of the Most High take the kingdom. All right. By power of the anointed, the Messiah, Yahushua. All right. So he's reading that wrong. He's breaking that down the wrong way. All right. Hope you can clearly see that. Get Daniel the saints should take Daniel 7. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever and ever. All right. So it's not going to be any interruption. Ilam. And perpetuity. That's what it means here. Perpetuity. A bond or other security with no fixed material. No, perpetuity. They're talking about a financial system. Time without end, eternity. The quality or condition of being perpetual. All right. That's what it means there. So it's not going to be any interruption in the kingdom of Yahushua.